Just as a note before we start this video, I just thought I'd outline that everything discussed in this video is rumour. There's been no official confirmation or anything, so before people get that idea and think that this is an official announcement that Jodie Whittaker has left, she hasn't. This is just pure rumour. Just because it seems pretty likely doesn't mean it's official, so I just thought I'd outline that before we get into this video, because regardless of what the title of this video might be, and if it's slightly clickbaity, come on guys, I need the views, regardless of that, there is no official confirmation. It's purely rumour. So, you know, now we've got that out of the way, without further ado, let's get into this video. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video from me, Pickles Park Reviews. We're doing another news video for Series 13 now. After the John Bishop casting, I didn't think we'd get any more news for Series 13 ultimately. I was kind of hoping we wouldn't, because I mentioned before that I was planning to take a break because of A-level mock exams and all that sorts of stuff, but no, there's some more news coming to us about Series 13, and probably the biggest news that you could ever get regarding a series of Doctor Who, and that's that Series 13 may well be Jodie Whittaker's final series as the Doctor. Now, I mentioned this before, but I'll just say this is purely rumour. This has been reported by the Mirror, the Daily Mirror, and it has not been confirmed by the BBC at all. So this is purely speculation in inverted commas. However, I will go into why this could be perhaps likely given the Mirror's previous track record with Doctor Who. But yeah, Jodie Whittaker is apparently leaving after Series 13, and in a sense I'm pretty mixed about that. You know, in a sense it makes sense. You know, she's had her 4 years, 3 series as the Doctor by the time Series 13 comes out. You know, in a sense it would seem natural, but also it does feel like Jodie Whittaker hasn't been here that long, and, you know, it would be a shame perhaps to not see her really develop into a really good Doctor. Which would be a shame. So I'm pretty mixed about this, but anyway, before I discuss my actual thoughts, let's just look about the validity of this rumour. So it's been reported by the Daily Mirror, who also broke the news of Bradley Walsh's casting as a companion before it was announced by the BBC. They predicted the Dalek in Resolution before it had been announced by the BBC. They predicted Mary Shelley and a Cyberman episode being in Series 12 before that had happened, and they also predicted, crucially, the departures of Ryan and Graham in Revolution of the Daleks months before it was confirmed, and all of these things obviously have happened. So it seems that there might be a bit of validity to this, purely because it's the Mirror reporting it. If it was anyone else, people would just dismiss it as, you know, tabloid rubbish. No, I would as well. But because it's the Mirror, you know, you can't ignore their you know, scaringly good track record with, you know, predicting and breaking bits of Doctor Who news before they're announced, and unfortunately this might be another one of those cases. As I said, it may not be true. People have been speculating, or I say speculating, people have been saying that Jodie Whittaker is going to leave in practically every single next story she has since she became the Doctor. You know, a lot of people, you probably know the people I'm on about on Twitter who have been saying this, you know, I don't need to name them, you know, who were saying that it was concrete, Jodie Whittaker is going to regenerate in Revolution of the Daleks, and Revolution of the Daleks is past, and what do you know, Jodie Whittaker hasn't regenerated. But yes, there probably is a bit of validity to this, and it's not 100% confirmed, obviously, but the fact that it's the Mirror breaking it would lead me to believe that there is a bit of validity in the article that Jodie Whittaker is leaving after Series 13. Also, something that gives it even more validity, if that wasn't enough, was the fact that the BBC have refused to comment. I think it would make sense for the BBC to just come out and say no, Jodie Whittaker's staying on. So the fact that they've declined to comment does, you know, also arise suspicions. You know, again, that's not gospel. They could be just not wanting to get involved in these, you know, rumours if it's completely untrue. But the fact that they've declined to comment, and it's the Mirror breaking the news when they have a very good track record with breaking Doctor Who stuff before it's happened, particularly with this current era, then, you know, that there is possibly a bit of validity to that. But obviously, as I said before, nothing concrete, nothing confirmed, but it is seeming quite likely. But anyway, you know, it's up in the air whether this is actually true, but, you know, judging by the Mirror reporting it and the fact the BBC have refused to comment, it does seem that it's quite likely. But regardless of that, if it does happen and Jodie Whittaker does leave in Series 13, or, you know, just after Series 13, what are my thoughts on that? What do I really think about that? Well, I'm quite mixed, I'll be honest. You know, on one hand, it would help my OCD if she leaves after 4 years and only does 3 series, because all the other modern Doctors bar Eccleston have done that, so it would be, you know, in a sense nice to, you know, keep suit with them. She'd have, you know, the right time in comparison to the other Doctors, and it would make sense in that aspect. And also, you know, it's no secret I'm not a big fan of Jodie's Doctor, really. So in that sense, it would be nice to, you know, just get, you know, a fresh new Doctor. And, you know, in any case, a fresh new Doctor is nice. It gives the show, you know, a nice new feeling of, well, freshness, and adds something new to the show, perhaps. It maybe opens up a new era for the show, which would be quite exciting. But then, on the other hand, news isn't really all that great, I think, mainly because, as I said, Jodie Whittaker is probably my least favourite Doctor. And it's because that I don't want Jodie Whittaker to end up being my least favourite Doctor. You know, I don't want anyone to become my least favourite Doctor, let alone the current incarnation. I think that's quite a shame. And it would be a shame if Jodie Whittaker didn't improve, because I think in Series 12, the writing and her performance did improve. And hopefully, judging by that track record, there'd be even more of an improvement in Series 13. Although, unfortunately, Revolution of the Daleks didn't quite shape her character as much as I would have liked in terms of the prison stuff and the guilt of a companion dying, because obviously a companion didn't die. So, yeah, ultimately, how much of there would be a character change or an improvement, who's to say? But I think there's certainly, judging by the difference from Series 11 to 12, I think there would be a character improvement between Series 12 and 13, hopefully. Even so, it would be nice to, you know, just maybe get more of her, just to see her improve and for her to really come into the role, because ultimately, as I said, she is my least favourite Doctor, so I'd like her to, well, I would like her to improve ultimately. She's already been improving, so it would be nice to, you know, see her improve even more, to perhaps into an incarnation that I actually enjoy a little bit. And who's to say that could ultimately, that progression could still happen in Series 13, you know, there's a high chance it could happen, but there is also a high chance that she could just be the same Doctor in Series 13 that she was in Series 12, and ultimately, yeah, I don't know, it's all mixed. I think ultimately Jodie Whittaker doesn't feel like she's been there that long. It does feel like ultimately that she's got more to give, and that she hasn't really reached where I think her Doctor either could be or should be at this point. But then again, you know, there's a chance she could never reach that, and it's just the fact that she's not a very good incarnation of the Doctor. Who's to say? But I think the thing is, a lot of people are just thinking that get rid of Jodie Whittaker, it'll be a quick fix, but no, it won't. You know, just look, they got rid of not only Peter Capaldi, which the BBC clearly viewed as, you know, getting rid of him was the answer to all their problems, and obviously it wasn't. But also, they got rid of the whole entire production team, and still, the show hasn't really improved. If anything, it's got mildly worse. So, ultimately, you know, just getting rid of Jodie Whittaker isn't going to be a quick fix. The show isn't going to be amazing all of a sudden just because Jodie Whittaker isn't the Doctor. Ultimately, the reason why Jodie Whittaker's Doctor didn't quite work isn't Jodie Whittaker herself. It's a lot of unfortunate things all coinciding at the same time. It's her not really knowing what Doctor that she really wanted to portray, but then also Chris Chibnall clearly not really knowing what Doctor he wanted her to portray. The BBC mandating, probably saying, you know, make her a Tennant and Smith clone. You know, seeing how they spoke about Peter Capaldi, it's very likely that that was essentially a mandate and said, you know, Chris Chibnall, here's the show, but you kind of have to do these certain things. I think that the stories either being very boring or over the complicated arcs that haven't really, you know, been liked by fans have really hindered her development. 3 Companions has really hindered her development, especially in Series 11, because she's got no time to breathe, no time to stand out, no time to progress her personality, and no unique relationship with a specific companion, which, you know, usually helps a Doctor and their relationship. You know, it's a variety of different things. I'd even argue that the fact that it doesn't feel like Doctor Who is also down to the direction as well. A lot of the production choices. It's not Jodie Whittaker's fault purely that her Doctor hasn't really worked or hasn't really been endeared to fans. I just think it's an unfortunate amount of factors that have all combined resulting in Jodie Whittaker's Doctor not quite being as good as she, could have been. And it was the same with Capaldi. The reason his Doctor didn't work wasn't because of Capaldi, really. It was because of a lot of different factors surrounding him. And it's the same with Jodie. I don't think it's ever as simple as get rid of the actor, then all of a sudden the show will be brilliant. The reason the show is bad isn't because of Jodie purely, and the reason Jodie is bad isn't purely because of herself. So ultimately, it's not going to be a quick fix, so anyone hoping for that, I think, is just talking ridiculous, because it's not going to be a quick fix at all. We can see that from previous years that rarely happens. And ultimately, I do understand a lot of people are disappointed. I've seen on Twitter a lot of people are disappointed at this news. At the end of the day, regardless of my feelings, I think Jodie Whittaker clearly loved the role and had a lot to give for the role, and I think she was a good, figurehead for the programme, I suppose. I'm pretty sure she appealed quite a lot to children and appealed quite a lot to, girls getting into the show, so, that was all great. Ultimately, it's a shame to lose her. It's a shame to lose any actor who plays the Doctor, ultimately, but at the end of the day, if it's her choice, it's her choice. Ultimately mixed about it. I'm partly kind of happy, but also I'm a bit disappointed, it swings and roundabouts ultimately with this, but, whatever happens, I just hope that we get some sort of improvement in Series 13 to really, cap off her Doctor, if it is her final series. And also, actually, here's another thing. I think it is a bit disappointing if Series 13 is a short series. If that's her final series, I think that would be disappointing. What I'd ultimately do is have no Doctor Who other than Revolution of the Daleks in 2021, just so they could really work on it and perfect it. I'd have, starting with New Year's Day, a similar thing to Series 12, have Series 13 then, and then have Series 13 a full 10 episode series, then have a final New Year's special, possibly the third in a Dalek trilogy that we seem to be getting, and then have a final episode be the 50th anniversary special, not 50th anniversary special, what am I talking about, 60th anniversary special, Jesus, I feel ridiculously old now, but yes, have that be a final episode, and then perhaps New Year's Day, 2024, Jesus, then have that be the first episode of a new Doctor and the first episode of a new series. That's how I would do it personally if she is leaving in Series 13. I think if it was, a very short series, that would be a massive shame. But yeah, it swings and roundabouts. As I said, I'm in two minds about her leaving. I think I'm partly happy about it, but also partly a bit disappointed by it. I'm not going to speculate on who the next Doctor could be, because I really can't be bothered. So I'll do that if it does get confirmed, later down the line. But ultimately, regardless of all I've said, this is not confirmed. Jodie Whittaker could quite easily stay on. Who knows? So everything I've said about this, about me being happy / me being disappointed, could ultimately, all be thrown out the window if she does stay. So just keep that in mind. She could quite easily stay. There's nothing confirming it, but the BBC declining to comment, the Mirror reporting it, and they have a good track record. The fact that actors usually leave after 4 years and 3 series, you would have to think that it does seem pretty likely. But people have been rumouring that Jodie Whittaker has been leaving for absolutely ages now. So if anything, there's a chance it could be absolutely false. But yeah, regardless of all that, if it's true, if it's not, who's to say? But what do you think of this news? Are you happy? Are you not? Do you even think it's real? All of this, drop it down in the comment section below. I'd be really interested to hear it. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, drop a like, and obviously if you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay notified for all my latest videos. But yes, thank you guys for watching, and of course, a goodbye.